So I actually prepared some slides for this presentation, but in the hopes of trying to avoid more of all of this plugging in and plugging out, I'm just basically my second slide was just a screen grab from the website, so I thought, okay, just go with that. Hopefully most of you have seen this website before. It's the new website for the APL Forge, which is what we're here to talk about today. I'm gonna put this here. To those of you who haven't made your way into this website, there's a catchy sales pitch on the first page here to tell you what this competition is all about. It's about having your own problem and then trying to solve it in APL. Because the old student competition, we came up with all the problems and we asked everyone to solve the same problem, and we would compare the solutions and pick the one that was best on a lot of different parameters. But we thought that it limited the people who would participate, because it would be the people who just wanted to solve regular standard problems. And what we want to see in the APL community, and what we've seen in our user crowds, is people who think outside the box and try to solve new problems in APL. So instead of having people try to solve the same problems again and again, we decided to let people be creative and do their own thing. If that means that you then go to the first and best Python library and you pick something and you redo it in APL, that's perfectly fine. It's a very valid, because as I said earlier this week, we want to have sample code out there. And if you can go and replicate stuff from other languages that you think would benefit from being in APL, that's perfectly fine. It's okay. We will grade it we will accept it as a solution. So it doesn't have to be new. It just have to be your idea and not our idea. That's the plan, and it has to be mainly written in APL. So the core logic of the problems needs to be written in APL. If you decide to put a bit of piping around in another language, that's perfectly fine. But the part that actually counts will be the stuff in APL. If you decide to put it in an application by writing HTML instead of using the HTML renderer, that's fine. I'm not going to say much more about the project or the competition. I can tell you that this year we had a number of applicants, and we looked through all of them, and there was a lot of good applications in it, but there was one that stuck out. It was a project of passion, at least from what we could tell. It was a hobby project. Someone had put an antenna on their house to look for airplanes in the sky, and he'd written some code to use that data. And the person who did this is Holden Hoover, who will join me on stage as this year's winner. And I have a nice little certificate for you that you will get as the winner. And there's also a nice cash prize, which we will discuss later. And I'm not going to say much more other than the next edition is already running. Part of the prize is that you can come to our user meeting. Of course, that will be the Dyna edition next year, so you'll get a ticket to wherever we hold the long Dyna conference in October next year, if you win this next cycle. But otherwise, I'll just basically hand over to Holden, and he can explain how he won the Forge this year.
Perfect.
Yeah. I will leave this